Greetings and welcome to Hidden Scriptural Truths Revealed. Thankfully, the pagan festival of Christmas has passed, its actual origin being the celebration of the birth of the Babylonian sun god Tammuz. Who was Tammuz? Most scholars of pagan religion state that Tammuz was the son of Nimrod and his mother was Ishtar, also known as Semiramis, who had the title of the Queen of Heaven, referred to in Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 17. In verse 16, Jeremiah warned the people about their wickedness and what Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh would do to them. But their reply was, "As for the word that you have spoken to us in the name of YHVH, we will not listen to you." In the Torah, Shemot, Exodus chapter 23, verse 13, YHVH clearly states, "Make no mention of the names of other gods, neither let it be heard out of your mouth." In Ezekiel is shown things that are abominations to YHVH. In chapter 8, verse 14, we read, "Then he brought me to the door of the gate of YHVH's house, which was to the north, and behold, there sat woman weeping for Tammuz." It is no surprise that this chapter and verse has been left out of the censored version of the Tanakh, being the Pentateuch and Haftorahs. In the following verse, you shall understand the reason why. Tammuz is the fourth month in the Khazar Jewish calendar, making it June-July on the Gregorian, our calendar. The tribes of Yehuda and Benjamin were taken into captivity in Babylon, and from what they learnt and inherited, Satan was apparently waiting there for them. The results of this Babylonian period: 1. They honor a Babylonian sun god by calling a month after his name, Tammuz. 2. By doing this, they have made it impossible for the people not to break the instruction in the Torah by having to say the name of another god when referring to a month. 3. The important name of YHVH must not be said or known, making Joel chapter 2 verse 32 impossible. "And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of YHVH shall be saved." Naturally, this verse was also left out of the censored version of the Tanakh, being the Pentateuch and Haftorahs. 4. Any name starting with the letters YH could not be spoken and had to be forbidden. The famous Old Covenant leader, whose name was spelt nearly 200 times in the Tanakh, Yod-Heh-Vav-Shin-Ayin, meaning Yahusha, Yah's Savior, was changed in Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 17 to Yod-Shin-Vav-Ayin, meaning Yeshua. By so removing the correct name, an Israeli who by a miracle is accepted the first coming of the Mashiach and the New Covenant Scriptures is again fed a lie. More Babylonian errors will be included at the end of this talk. Acts chapter 4 verse 12 states, "Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved." Here is a warning and a qualification for the one true Mashiach. John chapter 5 verse 43, "I am come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive." No baby, but just a fact. It has already happened. Tehillim, Psalms chapter 68 verse 4, "Extol him who rides on the clouds by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him." Yeshua does not have the Father's name in his name, and this name also takes the credit of the one responsible for doing the saving. A lifeguard at the beach who rescues a drowning person can become their Yeshua, Savior. And it is a common name now, and was so in Israel 2,000 years ago. Satan will try his best to conceal the only right name that is responsible for salvation. The Khazar Pharisees did their level best to ban this name in Acts chapter 5, verses 28 and verse 40, because the name started with Yah. Little wonder Babylon is the epitome of evil. The only true original Hebrew name of the Messiah is Yahusha. As stated earlier, here are the additional post-exile errors. 1. The first high priest after the exile was Yahusha, not Yeshua. This correct name is confirmed in Haggai chapter 1 verse 1, chapter 2 verse 2, and in Zechariah chapter 3 verse 1. 2. Yahusha, the high priest name, was written wrongly 6 times in Ezra chapter 3 verse 2, chapter 3 verse 8, chapter 3 verse 9, chapter 4 verse 3, chapter 5 verse 2, chapter 10 verse 18, and was written wrongly 3 times in Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 7, chapter 12 verse 7, and chapter 12 verse 26. 3. Yahusha, the high priest, was the son of Yahud-Sadak, Strong's number 3087, not Yotzadak, Strong's number 3136. And this correct name is confirmed in 1 Chronicles chapter 6 verse 15. This right name was wrongly translated 5 times in Ezra chapter 3 verse 2, chapter 3 verse 8, chapter 5 verse 2, chapter 10 verse 18, and in chapter 12 verse 26, as no name starting with Yah is allowed. 4. YHVH was changed to Adonai in Ezra chapter 10 verse 3, and in Nehemiah chapter 1 verse 11, and chapter 4 verse 14, with no scriptural authority. 5. Ezra was the brother of Yahud-Sadak and the uncle of Yahusha, the high priest. 6. Throughout the book of Ezra, Elohim, Strong's number 430, is changed in chapter 4 verse 24 to Ilaha, Chaldean, Strong's number 426, and Elah, also Chaldean, Strong's number 426, in 39 places. In chapter 7 verse 26, and the spelling being Aleph, Lamed, Hay, Aleph for Ilaha, and Elah, singular, being Aleph, Lamed, Hay. The same spelling as Strong's number 427, Allah, with the extra Masoret vowel point. Is this why the Aleph changed from a letter A to a letter E? In the early hours, the Ruach HaKodesh prompted me to add this note. Fortunately, among the Messianic believers of both dark and light complexions, there is a growing acceptance of Yahusha as being the true name of the Messiah. However, at the same time, mainly among the light complexioned people claiming to be Messianic, their growth is large, and they continue promoting the false, compromised name of Yeshua, a common name that the Pharisees would never have forbidden. They have colleges, websites, books, and obviously substantial financial backing. But when their error is shown to them scripturally, there is no response. We understand that they are not able to justify the belief of banning names starting with Yah that originated in Babylon, but can only assume this is just another Khazar plan to cause confusion and division. As always, if you're in agreement, please share. If not, please offer to assist us scripturally. Shalom till next time.